the vivid appearance of awareness as the dream, the description of the dream, all these images that appear as the vast expanse of awareness. So we have a dream. All points of view, no matter what they are, they're like a dream image, like a mirage, like the sound in an echo. They're nothing but pure space. When it gets down to it, they're nothing but pure space. There's nothing we can hold on to there. So there's the waking dream and the sleeping dream, you might say. And when, I suppose you're pointing to the sleeping dreams in particular. When we rest naturally and get to know ourselves as awareness, just in a totally natural way, you know, we can wait for the big bang of awareness if we want to, but it's very unlikely that that'll ever occur. You know, that happens so rarely. But what we can count on is that when we rest naturally, we familiarize ourselves more and more with the reality of our own luminous awareness. It's right here. We don't have to go anywhere to get it, not even to India. We're all in India, but we don't have to go here to get it. You know, that's sort of like being in Toronto and then you say to someone else, oh, you know, I really want to get to Toronto. Can you help me? And they say, oh, go 26,000 miles east and you'll get to Toronto. Or they say, oh, go to India and then you'll get to Toronto. Or meditate for 30 years, then you'll get to Toronto. Well, you don't want to talk to anybody like that. You know, you want to meet someone who will say, hey, man, you're in Toronto. Hey, dude, you're in Toronto. Wake up. So, you know, this is very important. So we already are awareness. We already are the full blast of awareness that includes everything, including the cosmic blast. So we are that. We are that. All points of view are included and contained within us. The more we familiarize ourselves with that, the more it is pervasive 24/7. So it does include dreams and sleep. In my own sleep, for example, there's luminous awareness throughout the night, luminous awareness as sleep. So the more we're familiar with ourselves as awareness, the more it's obvious. But when we haven't been looking at ourselves as that, then it's not obvious. So this is a very simple proposition. It's not rocket science or anything like that. We just, with ease, realize who we are. We don't have to change anything about our life to do this. Whatever we're doing in our life is perfect and complete in itself. So if we live in an ashram and we have an incredible sadhana and all of our sangha and friends we've had forever, we don't have to leave there to find awareness. If we're a Catholic nun or priest and suddenly we hear about non-duality and we want that more than anything, we don't have to leave to realize who we are. We may not find many people to talk to, but we can realize who we are, because the heart essence of all practices, no matter what they are, is the single expanse of evenness. Whatever we talk about, whether we talk about it as union with God or union with dreams or whatever it is the single expanse of omniscient, timeless awareness. So the more we rest easily, we will realize that about ourselves, whether we're a priest or a nun or a monk or a yogi of some kind, or we're someone who's living the life of a householder. The more we rest naturally and easily, with each of our points of view, it is a puja. Each of our points of view, it is the ultimate meditation. Each of our points of view, it is the most beautiful, incredible, wondrous, fantastic sadhana. Every single one of the points of view, it is that. Pranam to these points of view. You know, these points of view, there is no awakening outside these points of view. None whatsoever. There's no awakening whatsoever outside these points of view. So you see, everything that we learn as part of our practice, ideally at some point we'll see all this. We'll see, oh, you know, all this while, all the deities that I've had so much reverence for. I see that all my points of view are the deity, including the point of view of myself. that you know, the pranams I've been doing to this one and that one, and maybe to an icon or whatever it is, all the pranams I've been doing to myself. You know, maybe for a while I thought about it as something else, but now more and more I'm seeing it as myself. Now this is wonderful. This is the fruition of our heart longing when we've lived our lives so devoted to knowing the truth. This is the fruition of what we have longed for so deeply. So sometimes we may be in a tradition where there aren't many people realizing the same thing, but that's okay. It doesn't need that we need to be excluding ourselves from ourselves. We just rest, and we don't need to run away or make them wrong or anything like that. We just rest, and more we see the beauty in everything. We see the beauty in everything. We see all of a sudden that everyone who isn't recognizing awareness, that they're awareness too. There's no one who's never ever not recognized awareness. When we realize we're not confused and we've never been confused, we realize there's no one else who's been confused either. So rather than seeing all those people who don't live in the ashram over against all those people who do, or all those who don't live in the monastery over against those who do, or all those who don't recognize awareness over against the great ones who do, everyone recognizes awareness. There's no one who hasn't recognized awareness. So, you know, it's wondrous, and it lights up everything. It lights up the body from head to toe. There's no way to hold it back. You know, everything is what it is. Everything is what it is. Nothing has ever been excluded. There's no dark side and light side. The light is dark and the dark is light, and there's nothing that can be said about it. But if we try to think about that too much, we'll just be in another prison of a conceptual framework, a frame of reference. So all we can do is be at ease. Totally be at ease with whatever the wonder of what we're doing in our lives is. And as we relax so deeply, so completely, we find that natural ease that is the heart essence of whatever our practice has been. These practices, no matter what they are, the great ones who made them up never intended them to be some kind of tortuous ordeal. I just know this for certain. They were never meant to be an ordeal or some kind of thing where we'd make ourselves feel even worse about ourselves than we already did when we started the practice. Oh dear. No, we don't want that to happen. You know, we have to know that anyone who designed our practice, that they were a greatly compassionate being, and anything they were suggesting or that we may have seen them do, so we did it too, that it was just bringing complete ease to their life in every conceivable way, and that when it was suggested to us, it was certainly hoped and intended that this ease would be the case for us as well. So if there are things that are going on in your life, whether you're a householder or a yogi or whatever you're calling yourself, I can't possibly cover all the names that we take ourselves to be. I'd be here a long time, wouldn't I? Just be at ease, be totally at ease as you are with whatever that point of view is. Just know that that point of view, it is you. It is the blessed you. It is the dynamic energy of awareness or nothing else. Or if you call it God, that's fine too. It's God, or it's the Divine Mother, or the Great Spirit, or there's so many names these days, and we know them all because we can Google them all on the internet. We know more about this than forever before. But just know that all the names are the kiss of God. It doesn't matter what they are. It just doesn't matter. So I know you've all heard these things hundreds of times probably, but just know that it really, really is true, and that the direct experience of it is the direct experience of everyone, with no one left out. So there's no one who's ever been left out from realization. No great beings and ordinary beings. All ordinary beings are great beings, and all great beings are ordinary beings. You see, when we talk about great beings or the realm of great beings, we're not talking about a place that, well, we don't really know where it is. We've heard it talked about, but maybe it's on a mountaintop somewhere, the top of a sacred mountain, or maybe it's sort of a realm in space that we can't really see. But what it really is us. It's our own awakened awareness. When we talk about the realm, the awakened body, speech, and mind, that is the awakened body, speech, and mind of the victorious ones, of past, present, and future, the victorious ones who've realized who they are, of the 3 times, we're talking about ourselves, our own awareness. It's awareness as that point of view of the possibility of this existing. When we relax more and more, our body, speech, and mind that we've taken to be wrapped up in all these points of view, they're not very relaxed as long as they're wrapped up in the points of view. We can't think straight. What comes out of our mouth a lot of times is unexpected, and we go, "Ooh, didn't mean to say that," you know. That's not in my spiritual practice to talk like that. Or, or you know, we might even do something that's, it's another one of those things. Ooh, hope the guru didn't see me doing that one, you know. So all these things, you see, as long as we're wrapped up in points of view, we can't help but expressing in those ways. It's just the way it is. But when we start to relax, our thinking, it too becomes like space. Our thinking becomes like space, vast as infinite space. Our speech, we don't have to worry about it anymore. You know, because we find that inherently we have a mind, we have a speech, we have a body that are vast as infinite space. And these 3, the body, speech, and mind, are inseparable. When we relax just totally at ease as the essence of our being, what comes out of our thinking and our speaking and our action, it's something that could never, never occur, all wrapped up in point of view, just because we aren't relaxed enough. Because most of the time we think we have to do, we have to effort, we have to achieve, we have to learn, and then we can be awake. And so when we hear that we just need to relax, and then we can more and more see that we're already awake, it doesn't sound like that could be right. Because what's better than anything? Awakening. I think everyone here would agree with that, probably. But is there anyone here who doesn't agree with that? You know, it's the reality of what we are as human beings. So when that reality that is more important than anything, when we hear that that can come about only through ease and natural rest, that this is the direct way, this is the direct method, the direct perception of awareness, not at some point in the future, but right here, then we think, oh, well, that's too easy. I've been doing all this work, and this sounds too easy. But just know that whatever the point of view is, it's the throne of natural rest. So it's the divine throne of natural rest. That's what it is. There's no point of view that is not that. If there's any point of view that seems like it isn't that, then just rest, and it will be obvious that it is. And this includes everything that occurs in the waking dream and the dream at night. So the more we rest naturally in our dreams too, we find luminous awareness, clear awareness all night long. Something we maybe never had heard about or even dreamt was possible. We could have never imagined that. But you see, every night in our dreams we really are luminously aware. We just haven't familiarized ourselves with the reality that we are. Once we do, it's like, wow, I never sleep. So this is what awaken means. It's awakening in all bodily states, waking, dreaming, or sleeping. Awake, that's why the word awake 24/7. It doesn't mean awake like this 24/7. It means the luminous awareness that's never been asleep, as each of us is aware 24/7, and that awareness is pristine and clearly real. So you know, this isn't something that we need to compete for. We're not competing with anyone else. We should never compare ourselves to anyone other than us. Just if you want to compare yourself to someone, compare yourself to yourself in your own time of growing familiar with the natural ease of what you are. And just gradually and naturally, your dreams too will have this pervasive, spacious awareness that is truly real all night long. So there's nothing to do. There's no practice to do. Of course, it's important for us to be compassionate, whether we're living within the realm of cause and effect, or we are living as the full evidence of that which is beyond cause and effect. When we live within the realm of cause and effect, we need to cultivate compassion. That's the only way it seems that we can get it. The easy way is to rest naturally, and then compassion is so obvious that it just can't be restrained. It's just spewing all over the place, you know. It can't be held back. It's like turning on the spigot and then ripping off the spigot and throwing it away. It's just the great gush of tender compassion that fills everything throughout all times. So, you know, when we are arriving at an idea of compassion through intellectual speculation and doing based on cause and effect, then we can come up with all kinds of ideas about what is compassionate and what is not. But what I suggest to you is to just rest naturally as the ease of your own being. Allow this compassion that always is to flower, and then see what this is for yourself. See what compassion is for yourself. You'll know. You'll know. But there's absolutely nothing that's excluded. There's nothing that's excluded. Say we take a principle, a time-honored principle that is, of course, tremendously important, never more important than at this time in human history, such as non-harming. To not be harmful. Now this, of course, is a very important principle, and it's important to us whether we're living within the realm of cause and effect or whether we're living beyond cause and effect. And beyond cause and effect, it's naturally occurring. Non-harming is naturally occurring. But if we live within the realm of cause and effect, then we're going to have to start to speculate about what non-harming means. If we look at the word non-harming, its essence is awakened awareness. So that's its essential meaning, its ultimate meaning, awakened awareness. And if we go beyond that into the description, then we will have an infinite regress of points of view about what non-harming means. Some people will say it means this thing, some people will say it means that thing. Not if we say you don't eat meat, then we're saying, okay, certain kinds of beings are more exalted than other beings. That's the conclusion we're arriving at. That certain kinds of beings, animal beings, are more important or a better kind of being than a stalk of broccoli. Do you see what I'm saying? So when we rest naturally and easily, we have the power of vast mind to look at these things as they really are. We can come to a thorough understanding. And we can also come to a very ready ability to have very powerful and compassionately forceful means at our disposal to rectify all kinds of problems, whether it's animal cruelty or whatever it is. We'll see all of a sudden on the horizon of our own awareness a solution that maybe no one has ever thought of before. No one has ever could ever possibly think about it from the world of cause and effect. It's impossible. But you know, right now, as humankind, we don't have time any longer to try to think out all these things and make sense of them. We just have to get busy and rest. Get busy and rest. Just allow the natural ease of our being to come to the fore, and with that, there's a power and force to be reckoned with. A power and force to be reckoned with, that we as a global humankind can come together in a grassroots way and say, you know, this is who we are as humankind, this is who we've always been, and this is our compassionate outpouring for all of the world. So, you know, we have to realize that we don't live solely within cause and effect. You see, cause and effect, it can't even fathom the idea of a human being beyond causality. That can't even be fathomed from a mind that's all wrapped up in cause and effect. But a mind that is at rest, as the vast expanse of being, is beyond causality. It includes cause and effect, but it doesn't operate only within the realm of cause and effect. It can affect cause and effect. So this is very important and very powerful to know about ourselves. This is the only way that new forms of compassionate force, of compassionate immensity can come into being. We can't solve our problems from cause and effect. Everyone knows this. You know, I was talking to my mother yesterday. She said, oh, I'm glad you're over there doing something about this. You know, now my mother, she'll be 88 April 5th, and she is a Catholic. She's a Roman Catholic, and she is a devout Catholic. She and her mother, oh, the devoutest of all Catholics. I would have never been opened up into the world of devotion if I hadn't met my grandmother and my mother. You know, through them, from the beginning of my life, I knew that there was something beyond cause and effect. So this was very good. You know, this was very good. So see, my mother, even though she's 88 years old, she's not hopeless. She has one of those big flat screen TVs, you know, and she watches it all. She watches all the news, the maiming, the killing. She doesn't need to exclude anything. She can hold it all in her compassionate embrace. And she, you know, she's still saying something has to be done. And she was telling me about this place where she lives now. There are many old people who live there, hundreds of old people, and it's owned by the Sisters of the Holy Name. And she saw something going on there that she didn't like, and she thought that it was wrong for old people to be exposed to all this noise and the trash trucks coming and going with their beepers going off at 6 in the morning. So my mother went right to the president of the organization, and she said, this is wrong, you know, we need something done here. You've got to move that somewhere else, and it's causing suffering to some of the people living here. So he said, well, thanks for speaking up, you know, and then while they implemented the changes, they took her and showed her those changes. So from the beginning of my life, my mother taught me to not mince words. And that's what she said to me yesterday. She said, you know me, I don't mince words. And I said, yes, I'm so glad you don't, because see, I learned that. As you can tell, I don't mince words. I go straight to the bottom of the matter.